Happy Tuesday to you, everyone. I hope you're doing well. And for those of you out there that complain about wearing a face mask, trust me, come to where I am now and you'll be begging to wear a mask. Old man winter has finally decided to show his presence. And we got about 8 inches of snow up here last night. It's in the teens right now as I'm shooting this video. So again, it makes you want to just mask up. I'm going to keep my mask down while we do this video. In fact, I want to talk about your dog being out in the cold, and I want to spend 2 days talking about it. Can your dog be in the cold? Can you leave it outside in the cold? And what kind of precautions should you take? Today, I want to talk about a viewer question, or answer a viewer question, and she wrote in and asked, is it okay for me to leave my dog outside in the wintertime? And really that depends upon several factors. One, what kind of breed do you have and what kind of coat they have? What is the lowest ambient temperature they'll have to endure while being outside? And lastly, how much can you tolerate your neighbors complaining about your dog being outside? In fact, a good buddy of mine, Dr. Donald Pache, he got a complaint from a neighbor because his wolf was lying outside, curled up in the snow, and she said, hey, don't you understand? When you're cold, your dog is cold. What's it doing outside? Well, in that case there, with his particular case, she's wrong. She's wrong. His wolf wasn't the least bit cold. In fact, I'm going to show you a picture that he sent to me. And there you go. And this dog is about, and I call it a dog because it's not pure wolf. It's about 95% wolf, I believe is what he told me. And a little bit of a woolly Malamute as well. And you see them all curled up there in the snow. And when wolves and dogs curl up like that, they cover their nose and their paws with their tail and just tuck that nose right in there. And by doing that, the air that they exhale covers their paws and their nose, keeping those areas warm. But as far as the rest of the body goes, they will have what's called a double coat. A double coat. They have an outer layer of guard hair. That's on the outer layer. And again, as you see this picture here, and I'm trying to write it, pull in here nice and close. None of that snow laying on the top of his fur is touching his skin. And it won't, because the guard hair is this long, coarse hair that keeps the snow from melting, and hence it actually insulates the dog and keeps it from getting to the lower layer called the dense, softer layer known as the underfur. So you have guard hair and underfur. And underfur is that softer and finer fur, kind of like a fleece lining in a coat. And all of these combined with the fact that most dogs and wolves in the wintertime put on a little extra layer of fat, and with an internal metabolism of 101.5 to about 103, man, they can handle temperatures all the way up to about minus 70 degrees. Yeah, I've seen it. Up in Alaska, my sled dogs, we built these nice insulated homes for them with a flat roof, and I'm glad we built the flat roof, and that was a recommendation made by No Musher up there, because none of the dogs slept in the doghouse. They slept on the doghouse. Heck, they look like Snoopy. They're always on top of the doghouse, never inside. I can't remember a single day in which I ever saw one of the dogs crawl inside the doghouse. They would lie in the snow. You would go out there in the morning after getting a good snow and go, where the heck's my dogs? You're looking around, all of a sudden, crunch, poof, a head pops up out of the snow, another head pops out of the snow, another head pops out of the snow, they get up and they shake it all off, and now they're hungry. They've been laying, they're completely covered in the snow. Wow, nature provides, baby. She provides for wolves, she provides for dogs. That's why I'm never really worried during the months of December, January, and February in comparison to the months of July, August, and September. Hey, you get out here where I'm at, I tell you what, you can't escape this. I don't care how low you go, I don't care how high you go. No way. The cold is here and it will follow you and chase you and run you down. But in the summertime, you can escape that heat. You can go up high. You can go down into a creek. You can go into the shade. You can burrow into the ground. But you can't escape old man winter. And therefore, nature provides. So what you want to do is just make sure that you have one of these dogs, if you're going to leave it outside, that has a double coat. And a lot of those dogs are Akitas, Siberian Huskies, Australian Shepherds, yes, and even Australian cattle dogs like Captain. Come up here, buddy. Big man. There he is. He loves it out here in the snow. He's got guard fur. All that snow's laying on top of his hair right now. He's not the least bit wet. My fingers just went right down there around his body, dry and as warm as it can be. Bernese Mountain Dogs, Great Pyrenees, Golden Retrievers, Pomeranians, Labrador Retrievers. Why do you think these dogs can jump into a freezing cold lake during duck season, retrieve ducks all day long, and have the biggest grin on their face? And you're sitting there going, oh, no way. No way could I do that. But they can. Again, nature provides. Newfoundlands. Man, how do you think they got that name? From doing water rescues where it's really, really, really cold. Absolutely. Again, fat, double layer coat, guard hair, undercoat. All of these things provide for your dog. Okay, so if you have a dog like that, you can probably allow it to spend more time outdoors than if you have a dog that doesn't have a double coat. You have one of these thin coated dogs like a pit bull, rat terrier, or any Jack Russells, the short-haired Jack Russells. The list goes on and on. You know what I'm talking about. If they got really short hair, then they probably can't withstand the cold very well. And even if they do have a double coat, a lot of these dogs have to acclimate to the cold. They have to kind of get used to it. Some of it's even a mental thing, how to behave in the snow, what to do, what not to do. They can be a little reckless and end up getting themselves in trouble by getting soaking wet. I mean, yes, if you plunge Captain into a creek right now, some of that water is going to get really close to his skin, and hypothermia can set in for him just like it would for you. Okay, so if you own one of these dogs with this double coat, the couple things you need to do, just like I'm trying to take care of my coats, my outerwear, you need to do the same thing for your dog. One, brush them a lot because they're going to require it. These are the types of dogs that tend to shed all year long. Yeah, I've been pulling tufts out of cow dog's butt for a week now. He's shedding, growing in newer fur. So make sure you brush your dog a lot because if the fur becomes tangled at any moment, that can actually work against them because now that guard hair is tangled up with the soft under fur, and when that happens, it exposes the skin. You have entire areas that where that would be laying on top of, it's now sticking straight up because it's all tangled and twisted. Work those tangles out. Don't allow those to stay in your dog. And if they get out here in the snow and romp around it like Captain is doing, well, actually he's just chewing on something right now. He found a great stick. Yeah, he's going to get wet, and that fur can start to tangle up easily if he gets all muddy and wet from being out in the snow. If you do also have one of these breeds, a mistake that a lot of people make is they shave their dogs during the summertime. And that is a no. Only shave the spots that are so tangled you can't get them out. But do not shave a dog that has a double coat. That same coat that provides warmth for them in the winter insulates them against heat in the summertime. It's an incredible thing, guys, an incredible machine. Almost zero body heat is lost through the fur. And in the summertime, the same thing. I don't gain any more heat. I stay the same. So don't make that mistake either, because a lot of times when you keep shaving those double coats off, they just never come back the way that they were intended to be, that nature gave them genetically. So there you go, guys. If you want to keep your dog outside in the wintertime, you can. If they have a double coat, you might want to, again, I'm going to go over some more precautions that you need to take tomorrow, especially those who have dogs that don't have the double coats. Be careful about taking them for a good long hike in temperatures like today out in the snow, because you can pay a price for that. They could end up with hypothermia, frostbite, just like you. And so I'll be talking a little bit more about that tomorrow. And then again, just make sure you get them used to it. Some animals, like Captain, he lives the pampered life. There you go. You kind of write that thing there. That's Captain. And his double, speaking of double coats, he's got a double fleece bed. That's what he has, with bolsters all the way around. And he'll just stick his nose down in there and put his paws up underneath him. He'll look like a gray loaf of bread with two ears sticking up. He loves it. So he's a little bit more pampered. Therefore, there's zero chance, because he's not acclimated, even though he has a double coat. I'm not going to leave him out in this for 8 hours while I go to work. Not happening. No way. You've got to And by the way, sorry about that. My nose is running. Hey, Kevin, does your nose run from the cold? Mine always runs from the cold. Does your nose run from the cold? Anyway, maybe I'll do a Facebook Live on that. See if I can do some research and find out dog's noses running the cold. But anyway, I'm not going to leave Captain out all day. Use common sense, people. If your dog's not used to being in the cold, no matter what kind of coat it has, you may need to gradually work them up to those exposure levels. Because again, as you learned yesterday, these animals will interact with the environment. And when they do, they're going to learn some things to do in the cold and things you ought not do in the cold. They'll learn that. Just don't let them learn it the super hard way. Take it easy on them. Build them up. So there you go. Yep, dogs love the cold. I love the cold. I love it out here, man. I'm just so glad to see some snow. Isn't that beautiful? Check that out. Beautiful. All right, well, I better get out of here before my iPhone quits working here because I don't know if it's used to the cold or not. But you guys have a great day wherever you are. Be safe out there. Keep your dog safe. And I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit more about this cold. Take care. All right, cattle dog.